No matter how conservative our assumptions were, all they said was, yeah, but it might be worse than that. I reached this conclusion, it was almost in the form of an epiphany, that our job as investors is to be skeptical. And everybody knows that skepticism consists when they hear some fly-by-night scheme that promises profit without risk. We know that skepticism consists of saying, no, that's too good to be true. What I realized at the depths of October of '08 is that skepticism also consists sometimes of saying, no, that's too bad to be true. When we can't possibly come up with an account that satisfies people's pessimism in the extreme, then we know that psychology unreasonably depressed, that means prices are probably unreasonably depressed, and we should go to work. And that's what we did. Buying in the fourth quarter of '08 worked out very well.
Thinking back to the crisis, there's a famous investment saying that says, investing is the only business when things go on sale, everyone runs out of the store. And it's funny to think back to that time, and it's hard to kind of relate it to particularly our younger investor friends about what a experience that's like without having been through it. So trying to explain to someone a lot of the booms and manias and busts and cycles historically, I mean, talking about Japan in the 80s or the BRICS in the mid 2000s, without living through it, it's fun to read it, but for a lot of people, until they actually go through it, I think maybe our millennials are now with some of the cryptos, it's hard to explain. The challenge, I think, for a lot of investors is they want precision. They want to be able to pick the top of a cycle and pick the bottom exactly. And that's not really how this works. It was what the takeaways from your book is, where you see signs on both sides to where you think about it. And over your career, is there an example on the flip side where you misinterpreted a point in the market cycle where you said, man, it just feels really crazy to me, but it actually wasn't? A lot of the signs are lining up for a good buying opportunity, but things proceeded to get worse. Every cycle is different, different times, different links, different asset classes. Any thoughts there?
You mentioned that investing is the only place where people buy less when things go on sale. And I think this is really important for investors and especially new investors to realize. Normally, look, even Buffett says, I like hamburgers, and when hamburgers go on sale, I eat more hamburgers. Everybody crowds the stores when the sales take place, and we all know about this. Investing is a place which runs contrary to the laws of supply and demand. Normally, we demand more at low prices and less at high prices. And that is, of course, makes sense, should be. What goes on in the investment world? You buy a stock at 60, it goes to 80, and you say, I think I'm right. I'm going to buy some more. It goes to 100. You say, now I'm sure I'm right. I'm going to double up. So you increased the higher the price went. But what if you buy at 60 and it goes to 40? Most people say, maybe I screwed this one up. I better lighten up. And if it goes to 20, they say, I better get out now before it goes to 0. In investing, for the most part, people like them better at high prices and less well at low prices. And that is the opposite of what it should be. This idea of trying to find the bottom to buy or the top to sell is a huge mistake. There's a great saying, perfect is the enemy of good. And this is so true. Trying to find the perfect day to start buying or the perfect day to sell is impossible. We never know when we're at the top. We never know when we're at the bottom. Because, for example, what is a bottom? It's the day when the price, which has been falling, stops falling. We never know.
Da, e în regulă. Mulțumesc frumos. Mulțumesc, la revedere. Bine v-am găsit, doamnelor și domnilor, iată-ne din nou în direct, o nouă procedură de subscriere. Ultima zi pentru subscrierea titlurilor de stat, de fapt ultimele minute, la ora 13, expiră această emisiune istorică R250 8AE de la Ministerul Finantelor Publice, titluri de stat denominate în euro pe o maturitate de 5 ani de zile. 5 ani de zile, dumneavoastră probabil nu erați obișnuiți cu scadențe atât de lungi, dar iată, acest lucru se întâmplă în acest moment, un moment interesant, și să vedem ce se va întâmpla în continuare pe piețele de capital, să vedem cum se vor tranzacționa și aceste titluri pe piața secundară. Este un moment istoric, asistăm în premieră în acest moment și la spargerea nivelului de 19 euro pe Lixor MSCI Turcia. Într-un punct de inflexiune vom vedea cât de mult va cădea și Turcia Sigur, din păcate sau din fericire, nu știu cum să spun, o spune și Howard Marks că e bine să investești atunci când activele sunt depresate. Mie mi s-a executat un nou ordin de cumpărare pe corecție, un ordin automat, bineînțeles, că doar nu stau să urmăresc aceste lucruri personal, da? Am broker care lucrează pentru mine, cum este și Tradeville, cum este și XTB, unde pot seta un ordin în așteptare și, bineînțeles, acel ordin se execută atunci când atinge nivelul de preț dorit. Continuăm cu Hormax.
On that day, we can only know it by going on a little further and then looking back and saying, you know what, it didn't go down anymore, it started going up. That was the bottom, but we never know it contemporaneously. And if we say, is today the last day it's going to go down? Well, maybe not. I don't think so. You know, remember, it's been going down because the news and the interpretation and the mood and the sentiment has been so bad. It's almost impossible on that day when mood and sentiment and negativism reach their nadir. It's almost impossible to say, okay, this is the day we're going to start in. I don't even try to do that. We don't, at Oaktree, we don't talk about starting to buy at bottoms or starting to sell at tops. We buy when the price is much less than the value, in our opinion, and we sell when the price is much more than the value. And I think that makes sense. It doesn't matter if this is the best it's ever going to get. It's still a good time to buy and a good time to sell.